What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to do a quick video showing you guys the find command. Okay, and so a lot of times when I'm trying to explain to people how to use Linux, they always have this question: how do I find files in the Linux operating system? And I end up showing them the find command, which is a built-in utility that was created to actually help you find files on the system. And this command has been around for a while, and it's included in all Linux distributions, so you shouldn't have to install it on whatever distribution you're using. It should be included as a base utility of the operating system. Okay, so let me bring up the terminal and go on and walk you guys through the basic usage of the find command. Let's get started. Okay, so I'll be showing you guys how to use the find command on my main system, which is Arch Linux. And like I stated, the find command is included within the base utilities of whatever distribution you're using, so you don't have to install it. So I won't have to walk you through our install process. We can go right to the main page. So let's go down and go to that first, because this is the simplest way to find out how to use a command. So what you want to type in is man and then find, and that'll bring up the manual for the find command. So let's read a little bit about it. It says the name find, it basically says search for files in directory hierarchy, and here's the synopsis, or the way you actually use it. They have a bunch of options you could throw in there, as well as expressions you could throw in there. But let's read the description. It says this manual page documents the GNU version of find. GNU find searches for a directory tree rooted at each given starting point by evaluating the given expression from left to right according to the rules of procedure. So it says C section operators until the outcome is known. The left hand side is false for, and operations true for, or at which point find moves on to the next file name. If no starting point is specified, the current location is assumed. If you're using a find command in an environment where security is important, for example, if you are using it to search directories that are writable by other users, you should read the security consideration chapter of the find utility documentation, which is called Finding Files and comes with find utils. That document also includes a lot more detail and discussion than this manual page, so you may find it as more useful source of information. And if we scroll down a little bit, it talks about the options, so you can go through the options. And I don't typically use these options up here. Most of the time when I'm searching things, I mainly focus on the options that are down here. It says, I think it's global options. I can't remember the name of it, but it's some other options that are down here, or arguments, pretty much. And there they go right there. So I've looked at a few of these. I've used these a few times, but not that much. But it's mainly a couple options like name. I want to show you guys. inode, I believe, is another one I want to show you guys. Yeah, here we go, name. And that's one of the main ways I use the find command, by querying a name. And I'll show you guys a couple of options of that once we get to the demonstration port. But you can look at the permissions. You can look at you can filter out by a lot of these different options that you can add to the find command. You can even look at the sizes, like the size of files. And this works well when you're writing bash scripts. So this all ties into bash scripting. So let's say you need to find a specific file to get a configuration setting on your system out of it, then you can use the find command to actually find that file. Because in certain instances, different distributions will have a file or a specific file that you're looking for in another location. So you may have to find it by running the find command within the bash script to get that variable or whatever you're looking for to bring it back into your bash script. So that's one example of actually using it. Now let me go down and quit this. because it has a lot of information in here. Like I said, you can look up things by user, like if it's owned by a specific user, and the permissions that are associated with it. So let's go down and get to the demonstration port. So let's quit the man page, but this has a lot of information that you can query or look at that will help you understand how to actually use the find command. So let's quit that right fast, and let's go down and go to the basic running of the find command. And this is typically how I teach people how to use the find command. You can run it the base way by typing find and then dash name, and then what you want to do is put in a query. So what you want to query is the name of the actual file. That's what dash name means. That's what that option is for. So you can put dash name and then you put in whatever query you want to put in here. So let's say you want to look up and I have an example word because I looked up a word that won't take too long to query on my system, because when you run this command, especially at the root level, it'll look through every file in your system to see if it matches. And this one right here is a good one to run, so it won't take too long. But script is a query word, or we want to look for a file with the name script in it. So if we will actually script all together, one word as the name of the file. So let's press enter there, and that'll go through, check our system, and pull back any file with the name script in it. And if we scroll, up, we can look through here and you'll see there's a whole bunch of files with the name script in it. Now some of them it can't access, or some directories it can't access, which is fine. Just ignore that. If you have access to it, then you don't have to worry about looking in there. But you can also run sudo along with find, and that'll search those directories that you don't have access to currently, because it may be owned by root or another user. But like I stated, it pulls in every file name with the name script. And one thing about it, this is case sensitive. So if you have a file out there with a capital S, then it will ignore it, because in Linux, one thing about files in Linux, it distinguishes a file name based on the case. So you can have two different files with the same name, and one of them could have a capital letter in it, and Linux will distinguish it as a different file, unlike Windows. So that's basically how you run that command. It's very simple when you're querying for a name. But since I brought up that whole case sensitive thing, I just wanted to show you another option that will allow you to ignore that case sensitive. So let's run that same command, but instead of the option dash name, let's put dash I name, and this won't care about the case sensitive, and it'll pull in script. It could be script with the capital S, and like that. Like for instance, I'm gonna make the change to the query word, and I'm gonna put capital S in there, because I don't think my system has any files with a capital S for the name of script, but I just want to go down and pull in those ones that we actually looked at right fast. So let's run it right fast and press enter. As you can see, it kind of pulls in those same things that I know you can't really tell because it basically pulled the exact same information. But let's run name by itself with that case sensitive letter up there, and just to show you the difference. So let's press enter. As you can see, the list is a whole lot shorter. So there were some files in here with a capital S. So that lets you know that name is case sensitive. So I just wanted to distinguish that for you guys so you guys can see it. But that's another option. It's basically I name, and that will query case sensitive. Okay, cool. So the next thing I want to show you guys is actually finding stuff by the type, the file type. Let's quickly cd to my pictures folder right fast, and I just want to ls this directory for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about when it comes to type. And I've done a video on this before, but if you look right here, the first letter when it comes to the permissions, which that's what this is. This column right here is the permissions of a file or folder. But the first column within here, so this full thing right here is the permissions. The first column right here is the file type. So as you can see, this is a directory. You can tell by the color over here just by quickly looking at it, but you can see that it's flagged as a directory. So that's what the file type is. And then with a regular file, or it could be any type of file, it could be a text file, it could be just basically any type of file, JPEG, whatever, it's gonna have that dash there, and that represents a specific file. Now if it's a link, it'll have L there in front of it, and that basically associates the file type. Now you can search by file types, and let's go down and clear this right fast. I'm gonna clear it, but I want to show you guys, and I'm gonna CD out of that directory, but I'm gonna show you guys how to actually search for a link using the file type. You know what I'm saying? The file type option. So if we type find and then dash type, and that's that option, you know what I'm saying, type, and then we want to look for L, which for link, because they have basically some key letters for specific file types. Now just to go through them all, but right fast, just to show you guys, but F is for regular files, D is for directory, L is for symbolic links, C is for character device, and B is for block device. So you can search for all the different types of files. And actually, let's look at the block device, and let's type B. And one thing I want to add to it, let's just go down and add the root directory as the location we want to search. So let's press enter and look at blocks, and we probably won't find much because a lot of that stuff is permission denied. So we can actually, let's run it again, but let's put sudo in front of it. That way we can get some information back. That way you guys can see, you know, something on the screen instead of permission denied. And as you can see, by running it, there is some stuff that we can't see, like right here. This says permissions denied, but here we go. These are block devices. So by looking for the type, and then also let's run links now under the root directory, and let's just see what links we have out there. But yeah, just to show you guys, this is my hard drives, all my hard drives or block devices, and they're listed under the dev directory. So if you didn't know that, that's where all your devices are located, and then they mount them to a specific location within the file system or file structure. So let's go down and search for links now. Now let's press enter here, and that'll search for all the links on the system. And that took a little time, but these are all link files, and they're linked to something else on the system. So I just wanted to show you guys how to actually do that, but you can filter, you know, things out by the file type. And let me go down and run one more so you guys can get a clear understanding, but this time I'll look for a regular file, and I want to look for a specific name. Let's look for just configuration files. So F is the file type, that's for regular files. And then let's query now for a configuration file. So if we type the store, which is basically a wildcard. Now the wildcard is, just to simply explain it, it's just basically anything before this. So it could be anything. It could be from A to Z. It could be from 1 to 1,000,000, you know, in front of it, as far as the file name. So, but we want to look at just configuration files, which are conf files. Most of those files have conf at the end of it. So .conf is the actual file type. It's a configuration file. So let's go down and press enter there. And yeah, let's leave sudo on there because a lot of these configuration files are under the etc directory, which is the configuration files for all or most of the applications on the system. So let's press enter there. And I actually forgot something in this command, because whenever you're searching for a specific file, you have to put -name in front of it. So or querying a file name, you have to put -name in there. So I forgot that part of the command. So let's press enter now, and we should be good to go. And it'll find that all the files that have .conf at the end of it in the name of the actual file. So as you can see, a lot of stuff comes from the etc directory, and then a few things under the user share directory where there are some configuration files as well, but majority of them, you know, are in the etc directory, because that's where a lot of the configuration files are for the applications that are installed on your system. As you can see, it didn't take that long, because once you start running this command, you know, it starts caching a lot of things, so it knows where things are. It's just typically the first time you run the command, it'll take a little time because it has to basically go through the whole system. Now that that's done, let's go on and show you guys how to actually filter by the size of a file. Now let's say you want to look for a file that's a specific size. Well, the simplest way to do that is using the find command by typing find, and then let's look under the root directory again, and what you want to specify now is the size. So that's another option you want to use or get familiar with, but size is one of the options you can use, and then you want to specify that file size. Now there are 4 sizes you can specify that are mostly used. Now you have C for bytes, and then you have K for kilobytes, you have capital M for megabytes, and then you have capital G for gigabytes. And those are basically the sizes that I want to work with or show you guys in this demonstration. So let's say we want to look for all the files that are 100 bytes. So you basically type in 100 C for bytes, and let's press enter. And then I don't know how long this is going to take, but it's going to look for all the files that are 100 bytes in size. And I may have to pause this because I don't know how long this is going to take. And yeah, I'll go down and pause it. Well, no, it finished. So yeah, it found every file that's 100 bytes in size. And you can also look for, you know, files that are 100 megabytes. So you can type capital M after that, and that'll look for files that are 100 megabytes in size. And it should shorten the list. It's not that much with that size. And also let's run sudo with it. That way it checks all the other locations that we can't see. Let's press enter, and it'll go through and find those files for us. And some files it can't access, or it'll say no such file directory. Just ignore that, that's fine. But that's pretty much it. And the reason it showed up here a lot of spaces, because it couldn't look within those directories, so it doesn't know if that file is there or not. So that's one thing about running it with sudo or without sudo. It'll show you all the directories it cannot access, even if there are no files there. So you want to run it as sudo in order to get past that. That way it'll ignore a lot of these directories that it can't even search in. That's why the list is so much shorter here. But another way to look for, you know, sizes is by, you can look for things that are greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. So if we type a negative, that'll obviously look for anything that's less than 100 megabytes. And if you put positive there, or the plus symbol, then that'll look for anything that's greater than 100 megabytes. So that'll include files that are 101 megabytes and above, you know, anything above it. That'll be included within the results of the find command. Now I won't run that command because it may take a little longer. Actually, let's run it any file that's 1 megabyte or smaller. So let's press enter there, and like I said, it'll pull a whole bunch of files, because it's a whole bunch of files that are 1 megabyte or lower. And like I said, you can link this stuff as well. So if we type dash name script like we had before, and we have to put that in quotes, press enter, that'll filter out all the ones with that name script that are 1 megabyte or smaller. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I hope you found this stuff useful. This command is very useful when it comes to just trying to find files on your system. Like I stated, you can use this to find, files that are taking up a whole bunch of space on your system. And you want to find those files quickly so you can remove them. Well, this command will help you do that. So it's good to actually understand how to use this command. Now, if you have any questions, leave comments down in the comment boxes below. And of course, keep it techie.